has ESI London 2019 been for you so far? And why did you decide to attend?
ESI London, for me, just has all the content that you would need to know about if you were looking to get into esports as a brand or rights holder, or indeed if you already work in the industry. I think it's a really important place to come and learn about different things, meet different interesting people, and kind of share notes and ideas. And for me, so far, it's been great. It's been good to see old faces, meet new ones. Some really interesting questions being asked in some of the panel events. And you don't need to ask them yourself to really learn something. So, yeah, for me, it's been a really good networking and learning opportunity.
And what was your biggest takeaway from the panel today?
So today, the biggest takeaway for me from the panel is how important it is as a sports rights holder to really have a clear set of objectives when you're looking at entering esports or even just considering entering esports, and really aligning any strategy or activity against what you're trying to achieve more broadly as a business, rather than just kind of reacting to the fact that esports is a big and growing industry. It's to be front foot planning rather than reactive.
And do you have any major goals over the next 12 months?
In terms of goals for myself and Strive sponsorship over the next 12 months, I think we're already doing a lot of work with traditional sports rights holders entering esports. So I'd love to kind of grow the amount of work that we're doing around strategic direction, but also implementation. I think there's a lot of education that has happened and continues to happen. And for me now, it's really about adding the level of insight and sophistication to that insight to do more credible, not credible really, to do more sophisticated kind of approaches to esport rather than simplistic sim sport market entry. I think there's so much opportunity within esports and gaming more broadly than just doing a sim sport application that haven't yet been explored. So we'd love to be able to work with some of our clients and potential clients around showing the power of esports and gaming more broadly than outside of sim sports.
What was the first game that you remember playing?
So I'm going to show my age now, but the first game that I remember playing was Football Manager. I was a massive football strategy game, but I used to play before they had the real names. So I didn't have to wait till you got to season 10 and all the real names had kind of run and out and retired. I remember when, I think it was Domark published it. I used to love Champ Manager and Football Manager. And even before then, I used to play on BBC computers with things like Chucky Egg. So they're kind of my earliest memories of games.
What's been your favorite esports moment in 2019?
Oh, so far. Let me think about that. What's been my... Do you know what? I think my favorite moment, and this of esports in 2019 so far, is actually, and it's not one moment, it's actually the number of bigger tournaments being hosted in the UK. We often talk about the UK being behind in the world of esports, more broadly, across North America and Asia, but in Europe. So to see, ESL hosting, big events in Birmingham and some of the other large events we've had, here in Twickenham as well, that for me just shows a sign of the times of how the UK is really moving forward. So not one moment, but really an accumulation of just bigger tournaments and the UK being seen as more important by both fans and games publishers.
And what are you looking for in 2020?
In esports, or okay. So in regards, looking forward to 2020, what are we looking for? I think, from a personal perspective, we're doing a lot more work in Asia now. So keen to better understand, that market, the dynamics of that, and really how you can take brands that maybe have operated in Europe and indeed commercial rights holders and look to grow their global audience and implement local engagement strategies to broaden their fan base. So for me, that's a really interesting territory to explore, albeit, that's the birthplace of esports. I think commercially there's a bit to catch up on over there, especially from Western-based brands. So for me, that's something I'm really looking forward to being involved with and hopefully helping pioneer across there in 2020. Okay. Um, the reason I like esports so much is just its open-mindedness. And nobody really judging you, whether you're, and also being able to explore your passion at whatever level you are, whether you're a player or a fan. I'm fairly new to the industry. My background's in traditional sport, and esports as such, I've only been involved with for about 4 years. But the way that the community's just, embraced me, helped educate me about all the stuff I don't know, how supportive they've been, and that learning continues over the years. That for me just really stands out as something that in and itself is a reason to be involved. Hi, this is Malph from Strive Sponsorship, ESI London 2019.